Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist, and today I'm going to be doing a Plunder Patrol deck profile. So I'm really excited for this one because this deck just got some really insane support in Eternity Code with the form of a new fusion monster and two new main deck monsters, which are really good for the archetype, to make the archetype super consistent, to even bump it up to even tier 2 status, maybe even tier 1 status later on in the meta. I'm really excited to see how this deck does, and I'm glad I picked it up now. So without further ado guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, and you'll soon come part of notifications squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below, because we have some awesome rewards for you guys, like getting a signed card sent to you in the mail, getting your name description of every single video, or even getting to request a deck profile every single month that you are a patron. So let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Whitebeard, the Plunder Patrol Helm. So Whitebeard is a really cool card. It's one of the 2 tuners in the archetype, but basically what this card does is during your opponent's turn, quick effect, you can special summon a Plunder Patrol monster from your extra deck with the same attribute as a monster your opponent controls or is in their graveyard. So if they hand trap you, this deck is like, oh, sure, hand trap me, but make it a water, anything but an earth or a wind. Anything but earth and wind this deck really does well against, but earth and wind this deck has a bad time against. Go figure, because they're pirates and they don't like land. I just thought about that. That's kind of crazy. But anyways, so what it also does is if this card is sent from the field, from your hand, or monster zone to the graveyard, you can activate this effect, special summon a Plunder Patrol monster from your deck, except another copy of Helm. And then also, you cannot special summon a monster for the rest of the turn, except Plunder Patrol monsters, which is not that big of a deal. But also, if you do special summon that monster from the extra deck, you equip this card as a material to it. So like, for instance, if I were to special summon out a copy of the Blackbeard, and I would equip the copy of Whitebeard to Blackbeard like an equip spell, which is really cool. Then we play 3 copies of Redbeard, the Plunder Patrol Matey. Plunder Patrol Matey, or Redbeard, is really good because it shares the same ability as Whitebeard, that during your opponent's turn, you can quick effect special summon a Plunder Patrol monster from your extra deck with the same attribute as a monster your opponent controls or in their graveyard. And if you do, you equip him to that monster, and if this card is sent from your hand or monster zone to the graveyard, not the spell and trap card zone, then you get to target a Plunder Patrol monster in your graveyard and equip this card to it. Which is really cool. I like that, and it just helps out the deck to be able to do that, to be able to special summon that monster and then equip to this card, or equip that monster with this card to be able to get it back. Then we play 3 copies of Bluebeard because we have red, white, and blue. Why not? But what this card does is if you control a Plunder Patrol monster, except a copy of Bluebeard, then you can special summon this card from your hand, and if this card is sent from your hand or monster zone to the graveyard, you get to discard a card and then draw a card. I play this card at 3 because you can instantly special summon it from your hand if you control another Plunder Patrol, which can get you some Synchro plays or XYZ plays or Link plays directly into your copy of Blackbeard. So you have a lot of different plays with the Bluebeard. Let me play 3 copies of Golden Hair, the newest Plunder Patrol. She's one of the most adorable cards in the entire game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Hands down. She's also a tuner, and she has the ability that you send another Plunder Patrol monster from your hand or face from your field to the graveyard and special summon this card from your hand. And if this card is in your graveyard, you can discard a card to special summon this card, but you cannot special summon monster the rest of the turn except for Plunder Patrol monsters, and you can only use each effect of Golden Hair once per turn. She's a really good addition to this deck, being able to special summon from hand or graveyard just by sending a Plunder Patrol monster, either from your, sending another Plunder Patrol monster from your monster card zone to the graveyard, or discarding any random card from your hand to just get her out from the graveyard, which is really nice. Then I play a small Gen X engine, which is 3 copies of Gen X Undyne. Gen X Undyne is super nice because when it's normal summon, you get to send a water monster from your deck to the graveyard to add a Gen X controller from your deck to your hand, which usually what you're going to want to send is your Golden Hair to get it in the graveyard. Get her in the graveyard to be able to special summon her back, to be able to link summon into your copy of Blackbeard. This card is essentially a 1-card Blackbeard, because you can just discard the copy of Gen X controller as a material. We then play a single copy of Gen X Controller because you're going to search it off of your Undyne. And we play 3 copies of Ash Blossom. Ash Blossom helps out a lot because you just don't want to deal with your opponent's stuff, so the Ash Blossom kind of wreaks havoc on your opponent by just discarding it when your opponent's going to add something. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Call by the Grave because we don't want to deal with our opponent's hand traps. It's really beneficial to activate the Call by the Grave to just stop our opponent's hand traps altogether. 1 copy of Monster Reborn, just as a good one-of to help out getting your Plunder Patrol monsters out of the graveyard. Foolish Burial to send your copies of Golden Hair to the graveyard to get you more plays. Terraforming to add your Shipyard from your deck to your hand. Yes, it is pronounced Shipyard. 1 copy of Mind Control. Mind Control is really good in this deck because you can target the opponent's monster with one of your copies of Plunder Patrols and then special summon a Plunder Patrol from your extra deck that's the same attribute as that monster, but it's also nice to take the opponent's monster because you can use it as link material to be able to go into a copy of Blackbeard. Because if you normal summon a copy of like Golden Hair, this card's effect is that you just use 2 monsters, including a Plunder Patrol monster, so it helps you break your opponent's board a little bit as a one-of. Then we play 2 copies of Salvage. Salvage, all of your Plunder Patrol monsters that are in the main deck are less than 1,500. So basically it lets you add any of your Plunder Patrol monsters back from your graveyard back to your hand, which is really good to be able to add them back. We then play 3 copies of Plunder Patrol Ship-Shaped Ships Shipping. Say that 3 times fast, I dare you. I play 2 copies of this because it lets you fusion summon a Fiend fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as a material. And then you can banish this card from your graveyard to target a Plunder Patrol monster you control and equip an emblem of the Plunder Patrol or a Plunder Patrol monster from your deck to that target. And you can only use the effect of Plunder Patrol Ship-Shaped Ship Shipping once per turn. I know that is a mouthful. Then we play 3 copies of the Emblem of the Plunder Patrol. Emblem of the Plunder Patrol is the new equip spell in the deck that it makes the deck really crazy. Basically what this card does is you equip it to a Plunder Patrol monster and it gains 500 attack. Also, your opponent cannot target it with card effects, and you can send this card to the graveyard to special summon a Plunder Patrol monster from your extra deck with the same attribute as a monster on the field or in the graveyard. Then take that monster that was equipped with this card and equip it to that new special summon monster. And the equipped monster gains 500 attack, which is really good to be able to just equip it to that monster and then gain an additional 500 attack, which is really cool. Then we play 3 copies of Plunder Patrol Shipyard. Shipyard, I love saying that. Shipyard lets you search the deck, which is really cool because Plunder Patrol monsters gain 500 attack for each Plunder Patrol monster, or each Plunder Patrol card in your spell and trap card zone. And then it also has the ability that you can discard a card and add a Plunder Patrol card from your deck to your hand. And if this card is in your graveyard, you can target a Plunder Patrol card in your spell and trap card zone, set this card, and if you do, return the target to your hand. So it's even good in the graveyard. Like this field spell is one of the better field spells created in the entire game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Like I would put this as one of the top 10 best field spells in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! For an archetype specific deck. Like it's really good. It searches, it replaces itself, and it gives your monsters a boost. Like it is so good. So let's get into the traps, guys. That is it for the spells. So for the spells, we're going to be playing, or not for the spells, for the traps, we're going to be playing a single copy of Plunder Patrol Party. Party is effect is that if you control a Plunder Patrol monster, you can draw cards equal to the number of equipped cards you control plus 1. Then shuffle cards from your hand into the deck equal to the number of equipped cards you control. You can only use the effect of Plunder Patrol Party once per turn, and if you special summon a monster, or if you special summon a Plunder Patrol monster from the extra deck while this card's in your graveyard, you can equip this card to the special summon monster with the effect of it gains 500 attack. Then we play 3 copies of Plunder Patrol Booty. You gotta play that booty, because what it does is it lets you manipulate the attribute of monsters your opponent's side of the field. By declaring an attribute, you can target a monster your opponent controls and change that attribute to that monster's. Like if I target a Boral Sword on my opponent's side of the field and it's dark and I want it to be light, I can say, hey, that Boral Sword's light now, and it's like, okay, cool, I'm light now. Which is really good. And it also has the ability that then you can take 1 Plunder Patrol monster from your graveyard and either shuffle it into the deck or special summon it. And you only use the effect of Plunder Patrol Booty once per turn. And once per turn during the end phase, if you control no Plunder Patrol monsters, you have to send this card to the graveyard. So you have to plus or you have to get rid of the booty. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. I absolutely love this deck. It's got awesome artwork. It's like Goblin Pirates. So then we're going to be playing 3 copies of Blackbeard, the Plunder Patrol Captain. Blackbeard is one of the best extra deck monsters in the entire deck. I mean, all the extra deck monsters that are Plunder Patrols are really good, but Blackbeard especially because he lets you get into the other ones. But what this card does is you quick effect, you can target an effect monster your opponent controls, and then special summon a Plunder Patrol monster from your extra deck with the same attribute as a monster your opponent controls, or in their graveyard. And if you do, equip that target to it. Then draw a card. which is really good because it just basically gives you a free Plunder Patrol monster from your extra deck. We play 2 of the Fusion Plunder Patrol ship. This one is a light monster, so if your opponent has a light monster on their field or their graveyard, you can special summon this card. But during your main phase, you can quick effect special summon a Plunder Patrol monster from your hand or face it from your spell and trap card zone. And then while your opponent activates a monster effect, you can quick effect discard a Plunder Patrol card and negate the activation if you destroy it. Then, if this card is equipped with a Plunder Patrol monster, you can add a Plunder Patrol card from your deck to your hand. This is really an amazing card to play in the extra deck because it searches and it negates. That's really good. 2 copies of Brawn. Brawn is really good because all other Fiend monsters you control gain 500 attack, and then you can discard a Plunder Patrol card and then target a spell or trap your opponent controls and banish it. Then you can add a Plunder Patrol card from your deck to your hand. And this is a quick effect if this card is equipped with a Plunder Patrol card. We play 1 copy of Adamantipator Risen Dragnite. Dragnite is good because it negates spells and traps, and if you have a water monster in the graveyard, which is really beneficial, that's the only effect that you're going to use for this, and it's a Synchro monster that's a level 8 Synchro monster. White Aura Whale because it board wipes, which is really cool. And then we play 3 copies of Plunder Patrol Moark. Moark is really good in the deck too. It is a rank 4 monster and is super easy to go into because all of your Plunder Patrol monsters are level 4. But it has the ability that you can discard a Plunder Patrol card, target an effect monster your opponent controls, and banish it. It does target, but it does banish that monster, which is really cool. Then you get to add a Plunder Patrol spell or trap from your deck to your hand. This is a quick effect if it's equipped with another Plunder Patrol card, which is super nice. And then once per turn, if a Plunder Patrol card you control would be destroyed by a battle or by card effect, you detach a material from this card instead, which sometimes you'll actually have materials on that, and it comes up. An Abyss Dweller because it increases all your water monsters by 500 attack. This deck has a thing for 500 attack. I don't know why, but it does. Even Abyss Dweller. And also this can lock your opponent's graveyard down. And then a single Bahamut Shark so you can summon the single copy of Totally Awesome to give you more negates. I mean, just in the extra deck, you have a Toad that's a negate, you have Adamantipator, and you have the Fusion Plunder Patrol, which is 3 negates just in the extra deck, and they're extremely easy to get out. So that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you guys definitely check this deck out. It's really fun to play around with because depending on what you play against, it depends on what you special summon. I mean, you have in the extra deck a water monster that you can special summon, a light monster, a fire, and a dark monster. The only Plunder Patrol monsters we don't currently have, which I don't know if we're going to get them anytime soon, is an earth and a wind. That is the only bad matchups, and they're not even terrible matchups that we go against because the extra deck usually consists of dark and light, so these 2 are really easy to summon, and if your opponent's playing Ash Blossom, this is really easy to summon as well, and you can always just link summon into Blackbeard. So you have a lot of different plays just with those monsters. So that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you did enjoy it. Definitely give this deck a try. It's super fun to play around with, and it's just fun, and you always play against different decks with this deck, and it just has different ways to climb through the different ships. So anyways, guys, this is DarkArmedDuelist. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell next to become part of the notification squad, and check out the Patreon down in the description, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.